West side, what it do? Chief Westside 7, Ghetto Physics 777. You know who the fuck it is, and you know what's going on. And if you don't know, you won't know. So get you some knowing if you just lost in the unknown. You feel what I'm saying? But today is such a great day, and I'm glad that I could come speak and share the wisdom and the messages that I received and just the energy that I've been experiencing throughout the day. I wanted to come on earlier, that's a fact, but so much was going on. You know what I'm saying? So much was going on just within the transpiring of what had took place today. And so I like to say, for one, today is just Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody else feel the hyper activity. I won't say hypertension. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of hyper activity. You feel me? A lot of hyperspace things going on. You feel me? So definitely understand that the dream realm, you know what I'm saying, and the dream planet, shout out to Neptune, is very much, close by and active alongside with the Earth. And today was just one of those days where it felt very futuristic, at least like, when you wake up and let's say today is Tuesday, but it feel like a Wednesday or a Thursday, or like, like you feel like it ain't whatever surface level current day it is. You feel more, in the future of what the flow is gonna be, right? That's how today was operated and ran and conducted itself. And I ain't gonna lie, it was so it was so lit just based on the prompts that came up, I would say telepathically and intuitively, because it seemed more so divinely guided, and it was divinely guided. And I would even say on the level of the planetary alignments, it seemed as though the planet and everything and the universe and all of that, right, was so in support of whatever, one had, on their hearts inside, what I'm saying, of the temple. And essentially that was needed to be expressed, projected, reflected, and ultimately recognized for one's truth, or one's path journey, and also one's progress. And that's what I want to speak on, just as far as, it's a lot of things going on in the world, you know what I mean? But don't forget who you are as an individual, you know what I mean? And who you don't forget who you are as an individual and what your contribution is to this life, you know what I mean, being here on earth and doing what you do. You know what I'm saying? Being yourself, right? I say that to say, depending on where, you might be, what I'm saying, the US, shout out Jamaica, you know what I mean? I know they're going through what they're going through on the conditions of the hurricane, and any other country, you know what I mean? There's so many things going on in all realms and levels of life, to where today was a great day to center oneself in the truth, in the aspect of what one looks for inside of self, but let alone where one actually is, in the sense of making that progress, or making that transformation, or the path that seems to be, unfolding. You know what I mean? See where you are and recognize where you are, you know what I mean, to let's say connect the stars and everything else, you know what I mean, within the path of, you know what I mean, who you are, right? And so essentially today felt like a dream, because today I was even saying to myself, like, bro, today is not real. I don't know what the fuck going on today, but it just ain't real. You know what I mean? It didn't feel as if whatever was existing, including me, it didn't feel real, as in, oh, it's Tuesday, oh, it's this time, and da da da. Man, that nigga, it's like I woke up in a shroom trip. Talk about it, you know what I'm saying? It's like I woke up on a mushroom or psychedelic journey, just based on the energy that I felt today and the energy that I was in. I just say, because you always wake up, from, let's say, the last dream or the last encounter you might have had, you know what I mean, within your journey, your path. So consider that when you rise, or when you wake up, you know what I mean, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your experience, and what you got going on in your life. That shit is very key, and much needed to be highlighted, as to, like, and I'm not saying in a sense of, like, try to jot everything down and know everything of the unseen and the seen, and be all critical. No, but to recognize where you are being, let's say, pushed, moved, or even instructed and guided to move. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel the planets was speaking so highly of self, where it was just like shit. A nigga had to wake up. You know what I mean? And I mean, in that awakening, so to speak, it was through the mirror energy and the reflector energy of, let's say, what we call this outside world. You know what I mean? And ain't nothing outside of you. So all is within. Even when you looking as if things are outside of you, you are looking and observing from within your own consciousness. So understand that, and how, let's say, you are to be served, or you serve yourself. And also, you deserve your experience. What you deserve in your experience, or what you require in your experience, is being sourced from a sense of value in your core principles, we'll just say. And so that's just that's just some. I feel like it was just such a powerful day. And then even when it comes to the planetary alignments of Tuesday and the things of Tuesday, let's just say the element of Tuesday is we know Mars. You know what I'm saying? It's an action based day. You know what I mean? So a lot of fire and a lot of action and initiation was had and taking place, but also the transformation, a lot of change, a lot of completion. You know what I mean? So a lot of completion was needed today, in the sense of the pause, or in the sense of the reflection. So if you've been doing the work, or if you've been on your journey and staying consistent, today was one of those days where you was able to tune in to the frequency that you've been not only operating in and on, but you've been creating it, you've been manifesting it. And essentially you were able to see, or let's say the guidance was to see where you are progressing, see where you are able to impress yourself and recognize your own impressions upon your path and journey, as far as the things that you've been learning, living, or let's say drawn to from within, right? And I just find, with that being highlighted in the key factor elements of things of today, it seemed like wow. You know what I mean? To me, it seemed like wow, because when you know what you got going on when it comes to the healing, the regeneration, the transformation, the the manifestations, the things that you want to bring into your experience and into your life, when it comes to the essence of that and how you are sourcing that from your own currency, your own energy, your own frequency, right? Then you could really get into the space and feel to that. And I feel that I was so drawn into that, because I felt that I was already in that. And so it was more for me like a realization, as what the mirror does. The mirror reflects back to you what already is, or what is, or potential, and how you awaken or realize that is at your own awareness, should we say. And I just find today was one of those days where it was like, nigga, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Wake up. You know what I mean? And so understanding the subconscious and conscious realities of what we call, this human experience, as within, so without, as above, so below, finding the harmony, finding the harmony, or that center point, I would say it started with one's own universe. Recognizing that you are the soul, you are the sun, you are the one. And that's like, I don't want to get too far into that, but essentially from that point of being the one, recognizing everything. If it ain't, nigga, everything, nigga, the animals, the trees, nigga, the birds, the bees, nigga, even the people flying up and down your street, your neighbors, everything, nigga, the people you see on your journey when you go walking or when you at work, everything and everyone is a part of you, interconnectedly of your experience, but rather can reflect back to you, let's say, different forms of wisdom, impressions, and whatnot of yourself. And so that was such a beautiful thing, because I felt that, I felt my energy was called out by other people. And I'm not saying in a bad way, but it was called out to, like, nigga, you don't see yourself? You know what I'm saying? You don't know that you motivating and inspiring, and it's like, what you doing? Or where you at? And that's why I had to really take the pressure off of whatever mindset that I could have been, I guess, trying to find myself in. But essentially I had to see myself from another lens and vocal point because of what a person was saying and seeing of me and what they have seen of me. You know what I mean? And that brought me to a level of understanding of what was going on here in the world on a level of intuition and spirit, where those who are meant to connect and build and take things to greater heights are finding each other and will find each other, and it won't be in hesitance. It won't be in offsetting or shyness, or it won't be none of that. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be rather a true development between character and energy, or let's say animation even, you know what I mean? So recognizing, you know what I mean, the characters and the roles that people play, but also the character and role you play in your own reality that may highlight something in somebody else's, you know, reality and experience. And I find it's no more powerful thing than that, because you never know who's really like watching, so to speak. You never know who's, you know what I mean, checking for you, so to speak, unless they reach out to you and let you know, like, I'm checking for you, where you at, right? But then also, when it comes to the impressions that you leave on people, I find those things never are forgotten. People might forget names, people might even forget faces, you know what I'm saying? But they never forget the experience that you share, you give them, even if it's indirect, as far as you see someone or something taking place, rather outside of you, but is speaking to you, or reflecting back to you something of you that you desire, or you enjoy, or you would rather, you know what I mean, you're open to receive. And so I found myself being that individual where, you know, I was being, I guess, recognized for my consistency, my diligence, and my own energy when it comes to me working out and just doing my thing when it comes to fitness, health, and ultimately just my path, man. I feel, well, I just share with y'all, fitness and keeping my body and mind in order is something that I practice daily, you know, consistently. But at the same time, I don't look for no cheers, no credit. I don't look for nothing. I really enjoy getting on the dip bar, pull up bar, doing my push up. I enjoy my fitness, nigga. That's just what I do, you know. But it's meditation for me. It's a form of meditation. So I don't really be too worried about the results, you know what I mean? Even though I look at myself every day, I see myself, you know what I mean, growing and getting bigger in, you know, areas, you know what I mean, that I'm working on. So it's like I'm quite aware of what I'm doing, but one may not know how that is inspiring or motivating others to, let's say, do what they do best, or become, you know, who they, you know, I say, you never know how you being you might impress somebody else for them to recognize and see themselves. And I find that when you are consistent with you and being who you are as true, then ain't no hate, ain't no frivolous energy, ain't none of that. You know what I mean? It's only gonna be what it is love, you know what I mean? But I say it's only gonna be truth in the sense of love, right? Because truth is not gonna be it's not gonna be hesitant. You know what I'm saying? The truth is not hesitant of itself, right? The truth is not shy and none of that. The truth is what the truth is. Some people may not accept it. Some people may not even agree with the truth, right? But that's for another conversation in understanding. Ultimately, though, when you are operating as such, and others who are in their own truth and independence and authenticity, then the language of authenticity and truth, love, peace, freedom, and all of that speaks highly of the selves, or of the self, right? And that's where, you know, the communication and language of light, should we say, becomes more universal, telepathic, and easy to transmit, you know. And I felt that today. I felt that throughout all of today, man. If it wasn't my guy, you know what I mean, who be at the park and I be working out with, or he be, you know, he running and I be doing my calisthenics, but essentially, you know, we could help each other and we could help each other progress based off how we are impressed of each other, you know what I'm saying? So I'm impressed at how much he's able to run and his cardio skills, and he impressed, you know, at me building my tonality and muscle within the calisthenics and, you know, all that energy. So essentially, the energy was complimentary. And so you know it's good, and let's say you know it's a good day when you can look in the mirror and the mirror is complimenting you, your body is complimenting you, your mind is complimenting itself, like, hey, look at me, yes, I am here, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like it's another level of self appreciation and honor that the white planetary mirror offered today, based on where one has been and where one is going, and also where one is coming from, as in the dream. You feel what I'm saying? So where are you manifesting, or how are you manifesting from, your inner world, or the inner verse, into the, the outer verse, or the universe and the world, that we see here. And I just felt it was just such, like, I don't know, it was so powerful. It was so powerful in that. And so I'll share some wisdom, just based on some of the downloads I received today, and that's just that, you know what I mean? So shout out to the energy of transmutation, you know what I mean? Because ultimately the mirror was a part of that transmutation, being able to transmute one's, let's say, feelings, thoughts, and things, of perception or conception, when you see yourself in the reflection. What does your reflection say to you, as far as, your shadow speaking, to the light? Or what does the light say back to the shadow? You know what I mean? How are you, commanding self? You know what I'm saying? And essentially that inner dialogue, that interconnectedness and intuitive guidance and even receptivity was, and should have been, more complementary, based on the transmutation of anything of the lesser or lower vibrations. You feel me? So let's say, based on the energy, it was very easy, or more supported, to get into the flow and fluidity based on, the energy. And elemental magic, you know what I mean? Like that came up, based on the ancestors. The ancestors is going up right now all over, but I find the elemental magic is powerful. Tapping in with the water magic, tapping in with the earth magic, you know what I'm saying? And all the elements really, but mainly the water element is just, is really speaking highly of itself. Like, yo, tap in and get to, connecting with one's own inner being, as far as of the water, whether it be the space, or whether it be the emotional body, or however you connect with the water, and what the water means for you. Ultimately, the water is calling for those individuals who feel called to tap into that water magic. And I ain't gonna lie, that's where it's at right now. Tap in. And yeah. So another energy that, well, shit, today being the 28th, today is Saint Simone's feast day. I won't forget that, because I fuck with Saint Simone. Saint Simone fuck with me. Saint Simon Max-Simone, you know what I mean? And I fucks with him. I fucks with the energy overall. That I fucks with the spirit. You feel me? I ain't gonna lie. Just because the image he reflects to me of, I would say, me. Although it's himself, I see a lot of myself in Saint Simone, just based on the attributes and the characteristics, and the storylines and the things that he done, in order, the mythology of Max Simone. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to just the ancestors and the energy of the harvest, the hoodoo, the voodoo, and all the ancestors, man, during this month, or during this cycle, as we going, or as we've entered Scorpio, even though we still in October, it's been quite, the highlight of, for, as far as with Saint Simone, to really to take today to really, and then being understanding Saint Simone's energy, very, 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 I would say, relaxing or calmed energy. You know what I'm saying? And that, when I say calm, it's not calm in a like Goody Two Shoe or Rudy Poo, but it's more like just chill. You know what I'm saying? And so it's no worries, no pressure. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be no pressure as far as on the mind and body of how you operate yourself. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be overpowering or overbearing oneself with the things of the world that may not serve you best, right? And so essentially, Saint Simone helps one with that when it comes to the things that he's able to do and procure just in his own energy field. But I just find in a celebration of San Simone, that that was it. It was just so. It was so like I don't know the word. It's the word for it though, but it was complimentary. I'd say it was complimentary based on all the other things going on within the Mayan calendar and the white planetary mirror. You know what I mean, galactic signature and all the shit that was taking place in the space. You know what I'm saying, or let's say in the dream of today. You know what I'm saying, because today was very dreamy, and that's really what I want to get through. You know what I mean, as far as the message, as far as how was your dreams or what is your dreams reflecting back to you through you in your daily experience. And that's where shit to the nigga everybody is called, but everybody has been called to take accountability for their own interactions with self. So if you've been too far away, from your inner world and who you truly are, then today was one of those days where it shouldn't have been so much of a challenge to go within when you are being called, signaled, and tuned in to who you are and are intending to be. Facts. So that's just that, man. Shout out San Simone. You feel me? Because that's a real gangster. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I come up, from the underworld in the criminal world, doing all sorts of fuckery. So I respect, the patron saints. You know what I mean? The narco saints. I love them, and I respect all energies. Don't get me wrong, but I would say I respect the narco saints and the patron saints because it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? I would say housing that energy, you know what I mean? Facilitating and being, in that energy. It ain't easy because oftentimes, what one is dealing with on a level of transmutation and, clearing paths and all the alchemy of that. I mean, shit, if you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. Cause shit that go on in the human fuckery that niggas be trying to get, I would say justice for and all sorts of things, man. It's not an easy task when it comes to one being, let's say, an entity or a spirit of certain, paths and things, it ain't easy. And I don't say like it's hard or it's like, oh, some shit, but I find it comes with a level of severity and respect out of one's own decency to I would say look over to look over and take after certain human shit. Cause that's all it is. That's what a lot of it be. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's more spiritual matters that they can help you with. But when it comes to many a times what humans present to these spirits, it's often human shit that they need done or that they want to keep human or hidden from the let's say the astral plane and so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is trying to keep certain things under wraps. So that's just that. And then, I just give reverence and respect to that, man, because somebody got to do it, right? And with the white planetary mirror came 3 portals that was activating the sun or the solar energy of the day. So that explained to me why it was so fucking hot. You know what I mean? I ain't nothing wrong with it. I was good. I was dressed, I was definitely dressed for the weather, but I saw people who wasn't. I'm like, damn, like you shouldn't be wearing no hoodie right now. You draped up, dripped out. Know what I'm talking about with the hoodie on? You know what I mean? And it's like, nigga, you making me hot right now. You know what I mean? Not hot in the sense of like I'm getting heated, but it was like I'm frustrated, nigga. What the fuck is you wearing that shit for, man? Be free, And I was just the energy, man. That was some comedy for that, but numbers of today, I fuck with numerology. I love numbers, man. Was 10, 10, of course, the 28th, 9, hold on, let me go back. 29, 47, 20, and 11. That was another number too. And even the number 2 as well. And so I would also say 222, 422, 622, 28, and yeah. You know what I'm saying? So based on the white planetary mirror, today was about recognizing and seeing oneself in the improvement or progress the mirror is showing through one's own image, mind, body experience. And the planet that was reflecting back to the Earth was Neptune, which explained why today might have felt, the way it felt, so dreamy, because we know Neptune rules the dreams and the subconscious and all of that. So, it was so much going on, but it was so much that was, let's say, rooting for the self. You know what I'm saying? It was so much heightened consciousness and frequency of love and support that came from, the higher realms of one's collective consciousness, to where it's like all it took was for you to adjust or get in alignment, or recognize that you are in alignment with whatever you got going on. And that's what a mirror was showing you, or was here to show niggas today. You know what I'm saying? That you are right where you need to be. Trust yourself, love yourself, and don't get distracted. You know what I mean? Don't be distracted by spectacles and little things that you might want to pick out in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? And then even if you are looking in the mirror, and the mirror might happen to be dirty, you might happen to see droplets and water shits, don't worry about it. Just clean it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't make up stuff that ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Don't get to creating bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And I would say questions that I have for, the collective of those, you know what I'm saying, that come across this video. Respect to all y'all. But the questions, you know what I mean, that y'all can answer in the comments was, can you see yourself beyond the veil or the cloth of humanity? Are you being who you dreamed of being or are called to be? And what does that look like for you? And y'all can answer that in the questions, or, y'all could take that with a grain of salt rhetorically and, meditate on it, do as thou wilt, right? But today spoke to me through other people. That's what I wanted to say. I find that my mirrors and my reflections, right, was definitely speaking to me through the images of other people, and I love that. Not that I wasn't seeing myself, but I suppose I was. I don't want to say I wasn't, but I wasn't focused on these particular things and aspects of myself. I was just going through the day like it was a regular day, right? And don't do that. Don't dilute the magic by trying to fit into the mundane scenario of what you think you are, or who you think you are, or what you think you have to do or are doing. Don't do that. Be magical. Be fucking alchemical. Be all you are to be and can be, because you are, much more than this mind and body human fabric. You know what I'm saying? It's so much more to this. And when you let's say when you include the greater things, you know what I'm saying, of the self in the experience and dream of what you are doing and being and manifesting, then you damn motherfucking right that everything within the earth, air, fire, water, sun, moon, stars, all that gotta, you know what I mean? It has to shape and form around you being you, as far as your own universe. And so, yeah, talk about it. You know what I mean? How were you complimented today? How were you, impressed of yourself today? Because that will let you know where you are, let's say in love or finding love, or let's say in one's own alignment or truth and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like a truth that you cling onto or hold on to, but a truth that is unveiling and unmasking itself or revealing through one's own path and journey. It's like, oh, okay, I am doing that. Oh, I am that. You know what I mean? So the reflection of realization. How about that? You know what I mean? Because that's some real shit, and that's just the facts. You know what I mean? It's just the truth. The reflection of realization. You know what I mean? And what one was able to realize in one's own, let's say, self-awareness was so highlighted and put on Front Street today. That's what I'll say. And another thing I'll say is that the impressions you leave on the world or people is how one will be or can be remembered. So impress self by being your authentic self. Drop the mask and tune into who you intend to be, as one knows thyself, until thy own self be true. In the word of the ancestors, you know what I'm saying? The word of the great teachers, man. I feel we all are, our students and masters of our own sciences, you know what I'm saying? So, just like when it comes to that, you know what I mean? That's a proverb that has been spoken on or spoken throughout the cosmic regions of everything. Nigga, that if you know, you know thyself. And the earth was spent in the earth. Shout out to the planets because I want to speak on that because beyond my own human being, right? Beyond my own vessel, I felt it within the sphere before I was like recognizing myself. I feel that the earth and the planets spoke to me through me in the sense of it felt like motherfucking space, nigga. It felt like a dream. Cause I'm like, bro, I know I'm waking up. I know I'm, you know what I'm saying, brushing my teeth, getting ready and doing my shit. But nigga, this don't feel like nothing, you know? And that's not a bad thing, but I just couldn't call it as to what it was or what it is, but that was the transcendental energy of how even I said, nigga, when I woke up, if nigga, I can relay that to being like on mushrooms or having a psychedelic journey and or waking up in a psychedelic journey, mind manifestation. You know what I'm saying? And so the earth was spinning in its own inner being, or let's say the earth was having its own mind of manifestation and reflection and impressions and all of that. It was going through its own Instagram reviews. You know what I'm talking about? It was going through its own motherfucking metrics and seeing, you know, the percentages and all of that. You know what I mean? Just based on calculations and, you know, activations, revelations. I mean, shit, all the Haitians, nigga. Shout out my Haitians. You feel me? And my Jamaicans, yeah. And so the earth was spinning in its own inner being or essence of dream, where Neptune, that rules the subconscious and dream world, the earth energy today seemed unreal. It felt way more inner than outer, which we could just say not that it's unreal, but it felt way more real or intensely real in the sense of the hyperactivity and the hyperspace that was, you know, taking place today. And I just want to say that, you know, overall, you know, the energy of completion and the energy of self-impression and being impressed by, you know, one's own journey and path, not by the fuckery, but by your walk, by the consistency, by the diligence, and by seeing and recognizing the human as being the soul, spirit that is going through this journey and experience, and seeing how it has all been favorable unto what you are looking for in your world, in your mind. And man, today was really one of them days. So I really want to share the love, share the joy, and then even share the wisdom, just what came through as far as, you know, within the truths that were revealed and unmasked. And I would say, what's the word? Fuck, so many words right now. But the truth that was acknowledged, you know what I'm saying? Certain things that, you know, you may not consider as powerful or inspiring or as, you know, motivating, others might, or the world might, you know what I'm saying? So it's almost like as a creator or artist, don't be so fixed as to your image or to what you're doing in the art form of trying to perfect it for the audience, because you never know who might like that little fuck up that you did, who might, you know what I mean, see value in the accident or in the little, you know what I mean, you get what I'm saying? So, and then I say that even as an artist or musician, when it comes to, like, you know, you might make a song and you might not like it to your ears, but the whole world might love that shit, or people or your audience or your, you know what I mean, might hear something different than what you hear. So don't stray away from who you are and what you are doing from the source of you, and don't hesitate at that. Don't hesitate at that to be free of that and let that, you know what I mean, guide you and lead you where you ought to be, just based on, let's say, the planets, the stars and suns and moons and all that. You dig? And that's just the real shit, man, because when you know who you are as a universal being, as a conscious being, as a spiritual being, having a human experience, right? Then you know your soul. You know what I'm saying? And when you know your soul, you know what I mean, you can have a better trust within your path and journey to not only compliment you, right, but also to reflect back to you the impressions and the things that you need to take into accountability or put in your memory bank to activate, boom, and, you know, turn the galaxy up. And that's just what it is. So, you know, I'm going to end it right there, man. I'm going to just, you know, let y'all have it, man. One love, one love, one love. Westside.